Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner coming to you from the DeKalb County Library System again. And we're doing another tutorial as well, obviously. But anyway, I wanted to do something for St. Patrick's Day. And where's my, oh, there it is. And so I had this really, I thought was a really pretty bracelet that I had wanted to do last year, but then we got hit by the plague. Anyway, we got hit by the virus and everything shut down right there in the middle of March, just before St. Patrick's Day. And I already had this design out that I had seen over and over many times, and I wanted to do it. I was thinking of something to do this year, and then I just ran across the bracelet again, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to do that one. So what we're going to do is something kind of Celtic inspired. We're going to do a 4-strand wire bracelet with beads. And it's so, what you need is so simple, because the only things that you need to make this, other than your tools, are your beads and your wire. That's it. It is so neat, and it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous bracelet. I love it, and we're going to do it today. So I had done this one, and this is 20 gauge wire. It's like a bangle. Look at that. So strong. After a year, it's really solidified into something very, very sturdy. So anyway, I did that one in silver with green and clear crystals, and I used a bunch of different colored green crystals just to do something different. And this time, I think St. Patrick's Day, you got to do green, right? I was going to do blue and black, and then I thought, no. So I'm going to do green and black. Some green crystals and some black crystals. And what a gorgeous combination that's going to be, I think. I know it will be. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to make a beautiful Celtic braid inspired wire work bracelet. And the only things that you need in addition to, I'm using 4mm bicone crystals and 20 gauge wire. I'm using copper wire this time instead of silver, just to have something different. You'll need your usual pliers, your round nose, your square nose or chain nose pliers, and your cutters. You'll also need a ruler and something to shape your bracelet with if you don't want to just use your hands, which you can very, very well do. So we're going to get started. I'm looking for something to use to shape my bracelet. I just usually use a little jar or a bottle or something like that, nothing special. Anyway, we're going to get started. Let me get you down here to the right camera. And let's get going. Still looking for my little bottle. I don't know what I did with it. I'll find it before it's time to shape. Anyway, so what you need is 20 gauge wire, and the measurement that I used is your wrist size times 2 plus 4 inches, and that will give you enough for your bracelet. So just take your wrist size. In my case, it's 7 times 2 makes 14 plus 4 inches. I can't even count. 6, 7, 18 inches, and or 4 to 6. I'm at the most 6 inches. So I would give myself 20 inches just to be safe. And that's what I did. I gave myself 20 inches, and I'm probably going to have enough left. And I wanted to give myself enough that if I did have some left over, I could use it to make my clasp instead of wasting it. I hate waste. Now, if you're going to use something really inexpensive, this is just some copper wire. That's fine. You don't have to worry about having some left over that you might not be able to do anything with. There's my little shaping bottle. But if you're using something more expensive, you want to be a little bit more exact. So just keep track of whatever measurement you use for the first one, see how much you cut off, and then the next time you don't have to do that. But I've got my 20 inches. I've got my 2 pieces of wire, and these are going to coordinate into 4 strands. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to take my wire, I'm going to put the ends together so that they match and then cross them over. And then pull the wire until I have a loop with my ends being the same, as close to the same distance as I can. I like to cross it over right over left. That's just me. You can do left over right. It's entirely up to you. But so I'm going to cross that over. I'm going to pull it until I have a loop in the center. Kind of check it out. Try to make both of the ends the same length or close to the same length. So there's my one loop. I do the same with the other one. And if you do right over left on one, you want to do the same thing on the other one. If you do left over right on one, then you want to do the same on the other one. But you want to cross them both over the same way. Okay, get my loop. That looks good. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to take my wires and I'm fumbling to get my glasses on. I'm going to put one wire over top of the other one. So I have my 2 loops here, and I'm going to place one wire on top of the other, like so. So I'm going to do that again, a little closer to the camera. So there are my 2 wires. It's a little fumbly because there's so much length here. My 2 wires, and I'm going to put one loop over the other loop. And again, I need to make sure I have my right over left. It is right over left. This needs to be right over left. Flip that around until I have right over left. There we go. This one's right over left. This one's right over left. I'm going to attach it by putting one loop over the other and just let it drop down like that. There we go. So my 2 outer wires are going to be the ones that are underneath. And then my 2 inside wires are the ones from the wires on top. So the first thing I want to do is put a bead on each of the outer wires. I'm going to start with the green and put a green bead on each of my outer wires. on there. Come on, you know you want it. Oh, wow. This crystal does not want to cooperate. Okay, finally. Okay, I have a crystal on each of my outer wires. And now I'm going to take that wire and I'm going to cross that wire over the one that's closest to it. There we go. Then I'm going to go to the other side and take that wire and cross it under the wire that's closest to it. There we go. And so this wire, you're doing an over-under motion. This wire went over the one closest to it, and these wires in the middle have to cross over. So this one crosses under the other wire, and this one crosses over. So let's do that again. The start of it is always the most challenging. So my middle wires are crossing over each other. My beads are trapped in between the wires. So let's grab another bead. I'm going to go with the black ones this time. And again, I'm going to put a bead on the outer wires. I'm holding this because I don't want my beads to shift. Okay, black bead on the outer wire. Something did shift, didn't it? Get back up there. Back up there where you belong. There. And you're supposed to be here. All right, so I have to hold on to my beads so that they do not slide down. Okay, outer wires again. A bead on that outer wire. Another bead on the outer wire on the other side. Come on. Here we go. And again, we're going to cross over the outer wire over the closest wire to it. There we go. And go to the other side and cross over the outer wire under the wire closest to it. There we go. And then that wire goes over the other one. So this one's over and under, over and under, and this one's under and over. And now it just depends on how much space, how small you want your little braids to be. If you want a nice large braid, or if you want a smaller braid, it depends on your preference. As you can see, mine are a little loose, and I kind of like it that way. It gives me a bigger bangle. Okay, so there we go with our first ones. And you can adjust this as you go. If it's a little too bent, you can adjust it until it looks the way you want it. This wire is very soft and very malleable, so you can work with it as you go along. All right, let's do another one. So there's my outer wire on my right and on my left, and then my center wires are crossed over. I'm going to put another green bead on since I ended up with the last one with the black ones. Green bead on my outer wire. And another green bead on the other outer wire. Center wires are still crossed over. That's good. Take my outer wire and go over that first one. It's closest to it. The other outer wire goes under. The wire that's closest to it and crosses over the wire in the middle. So there we go. There's another one. Let's do that again. Going black this time. Outer wire. It's the bead. Other side, outer wire gets the bead. Come on. There we go. Cross over. And under. And again. Green bead on the outer wire. Is it green? Yes, green. Green. Over. And under. Oh, I am liking this. This is very, very pretty. What do you think of that so far? I like it. Okay, black bead. Black bead. Over. And under. Green bead. At some point, I'm going to take this off camera and finish it because it's got to be boring for you to watch me just alternate these beads. And now I think you pretty much got it. Over the wire closest to it, under the wire closest to it, and crossing over in the middle. And I am just adoring this. It's so pretty. Let's go with black. And as you get to the point where you have shorter wire to deal with, it gets a lot easier to maneuver because you don't have all those wires trying to poke you in the face or hit whatever's next to you or the person next to you, heaven forbid. Okay. over and under and across the center. All right, so I think that's a good start. And I think from here, I'm going to go ahead and take it off camera and finish it up. It's almost finished. I had to just keep going. Why the heck not? It's got to be boring for you though. Okay, I'll do one more. Outer wires again. Over the first, under the first, and across in the center. And there we have it. That's our pattern, that's our design. And we just keep going until we have the size that we need. Green, black. There we go. Outer wire. Outer wire. Over my center right, under my center left, and crossing in the middle. Okay, so from here, I think I'm going to take this off camera, finish the last few that I need to do to get to the size I want. I've said that twice already, and I just keep going, don't I? Just torturing you, making you watch me do this from beginning to end. What did I do? It's supposed to be a grain bead, Virginia. You can switch it up, sort of like I did with the first one. I just played around with a bunch of different colored green beads instead of one shade because I wanted to. And you can do that. Over, under, and cross in the center. Let's see where I am. I need a 7-incher. Oh, I'm almost there. Almost there. Let's check it out. I might not have to go on off camera after all. Almost. I have a few more to do. So I'm going to take it off camera and get those last couple done. So I can keep this video down to a reasonable length. I'm always scaring people away with these long drawn out videos for absolutely no reason when I can show you the beginnings of it, turn it off, come back like they do on those cooking shows with a finished product. Over, under, and across. Let's do one more and see if I can. Okay, I'm going to put you out of your misery. I'll be back in a moment. All right, here we go. There's the finished length of my bracelet, and I am ready to finish it off. And the way we do that is we take our two outer wires, and I'll fold the wire, this one wire that's under the center wire. I'm going to fold it over the center wire. I'm going to flip it over on the other side. I'm going to fold that outer wire over the center wire, like so. And I'm going to clip those wires off. See how much I had left? So I folded that over my center wire. Here my center wires crossed. That outer wire folds over the center. And I'm going to clip the wire. I'm just going to press that down over that wire. So I just folded that down over the wire, like that. Then on the other side, that's folded down over the center wire. See if I can get that nice and clear. This was the outer wire. It's folding down over the center wire that's closest to it. I'm going to cut that off just past that wire. And push the wire down. So that it kind of surrounds that center wire. Just like that. So clear. So I'm trying to get a clear picture here, and I don't think I'm getting it. I hope that's clear. There we go. So there's my little folded down wire on both sides. There we go. And now for the center wires, they're going to be what hooks into my clasp. Make sure that's nice and tight here. So what I want to do with that wire is fold it down over the other wire. So I'm going to fold down one of the center wires over the other. Just basically wrapping it around the other wire. I'm going to clip that off. There we go. And the same with the other wire. Fold that down. and clip it off. And I just have two little loops here. So that's what I have, two loops on the end. Here we go. And now it's time to shape. So what I want to do is just take any large enough cylindrical item that will kind of approximate the size of my wrist, or a little smaller. I like to go a little smaller, and then I can adjust it to the size of my wrist. So that just gives me my round shape. And now notice, you've also got to take into consideration that your wrist is not round. This jar is round, my wrist is not. So after I've got sort of the shape that I want, then I need to adjust it to actually fit the shape of my wrist. My wrist is a little more oval shaped than that round item that I used to shape it. Oh, excuse me, I don't know what's going on there. Gastronomical sounds that I'm so rudely making. It's just incorrect. Okay. So here we go. Get that nicely shaped. So there we have that. Isn't that absolutely lovely? Oh, so pretty. I'm glad I chose those colors. I like it. And so now all I need to do is make my clasp. See these nice long pieces that I had left? If I had little pieces, I wouldn't be able to do anything with them. But because they're, golly, how much do I have left here? Got 4 inches. I have 4 inches left. What I had done was, I think I cut it about 20. I gave myself an additional 2 inches so that I wouldn't have to cut little pieces off and not be able to work with them. So I have 4 inches of wire left on each piece, which is lovely. This one looks like about 3. Yeah. And so now I have something that I can use those for. So now what I'm going to do is take this smallest piece here, and I'm going to use it to make my clasp. And what I need for my clasp is about 2.5 to 3 inches, and I've got about 3 inches. So that's absolutely perfect. So what I want to do is take my little 3-inch piece of wire, and I'm going to fold it over in the center and bring the ends around to match, to meet. So now I have this little U shape. I'm going to squeeze those ends that center together. Just close it up. And you can do this with your fingers. You can do it with your pliers. You can do it with a combination of both, which is probably what I'm going to do. Get it in as far as I can go. And then I'm going to take my pliers and just kind of finish it off. And all I want to do is bring these ends together as close as I can get until they're almost flush with each other. There we go. So I have a little opening there, which is fine, because I'm just making a hook clasp. A little bit closer, just a little. There. So now what I'm going to do is make my little hook. And I'm going to take my round nose pliers, let's put that out of the way, and I'm going to scoot down about 1/4 of an inch from the end, 1/4, 3/8, depending on how long you want your hook to be. And I'm going to fold my wires over my pliers right around the tip there. Just fold them over until I have a little hook. Then I'm going to take the tip of my pliers and put a little bend in the tip. So there. Here's my little hook. And this little bend that's in the tip will keep the hook from sliding completely out of your, off of your, the other side of your clasp, the hook part of your clasp. It gives it a little ledge so that it'll be secure. Now I need to make the little loops that are going to attach. Oops, let me close this up. It's a little open. A little more open than I would like. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to make 2 loops that will hook into these little loops right here. So I'm going to cut this off so that the ends are both even. And I only need enough for loops. So I only need about 1/2 an inch from the tip of my hook to make my loops. So I'm going to cut them both even with my clippers. Notice I hold on to the end so I don't end up with little pieces of wire flying all over the room. Let's check here. That's about 1/2 an inch. And then I'm going to make a loop out of each end of my wire. And it only needs to be, doesn't need to be too big. And I want my loops to be going in the opposite direction of my hook. So here's my hook. My loops, I want my loops to go the other way. Okay, there's my hook. Open it, open each loop. Open them out to the sides here. Attach them from underneath so that my hook will go into the loop from the top. Attach that. Close you up. Attach the other side. Come on, get in there. Let's go the other direction. It's being difficult. There we go, and close it up. Loops together. Make sure they're nicely closed. And there we go. Everything's nice and closed and attached. And there's my hook. And there we are. There's my bracelet. And then you can go back and look at your bracelet and see if you want to adjust any of the little braids. Make them smaller, make them bigger. Squeeze them together a little bit more. It's entirely up to you, but now this is perfect. Perfectly beautiful. Finish my shaping. And let's try it on. I hope it's not too big. Let's see. It's already conformed to shape, which is amazing. The braiding that you do works it so much that it starts to bangle almost immediately. It starts to, I say solidify, that's not really the right word, but it kind of is. Here we go. There we are. And there it is. There's my bracelet. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Yeah, there we are. There it is. I love it. I always love my stuff. There it is. What do you think of that? So pretty. Ugh, that is gorgeous. Isn't that the easiest thing in the world? You just, once you get started, you're just basically braiding. And it's very much an over-under motion. So once you get used to doing it, you can do it without even thinking about it. It's the start of it is the most challenging because you have this these long strands of wire that you have to deal with. But once you get to the point where you don't have all of that wire sticking out, it becomes an easy matter of completion. So there it is, St. Patty's Day. We love you. We love our bracelets that you have made possible for us to do. So this is our Celtic inspired piece. And I hope you liked it. And as I told you last week, for patrons of the Decatur Library, the DeKalb County Library, there will be a limited number of kits available at the Decatur branches, the Decatur branch, Toco Hills, Chamblee, and Wesley Chapel. So get in touch with them in order to it's going to be kind of like first come first serve, I believe, but get in touch with them to see how they're doing it so that you can get a kit that has everything that you need. The materials, you're going to need your own tools, but it'll have all of the materials that you need to make this bracelet. It started last week with the Women's Day necklace that we did, the Women's Day Laureate, and this week as well, and moving forward until further notice. We will have a limited supply of kits with the beads and the wire and whatever else that you need, with, and not including the tools to make your bracelets, your necklace, your earrings, or whatever it is that we're making that week. So get in touch with your library. Please leave feedback, because that's going to be to your advantage further down the line. And let us know what you think. Post your finished product on the Facebook page, the library Facebook page. And that's it for now. So until next time, please enjoy your weekend or your week or wherever you are at this point in the week when you see this. And talk to you later. I'll be talking, I guess, at you later. And hopefully you will see me and you'll let us know what you think. Okay? Until next time, bye-bye.